morning, babes. Okay, so I'm just doing a voiceover because my voice was so raspy and it was literally aching me out. But this is just going to be a get ready with me while I share some tips that I learned in my first year of university. Enjoy. Excited, and I thought I would film a little get ready with me and like talk about like things that I would want someone to tell me as a first year going in to university, because I feel like there's some stuff out there that's kind of unrealistic for what you need to buy and all of that, honestly. But yeah, if I'm looking straight there, it's because my mirror's there, so I'm probably gonna be like, you know, getting ready while I do this. But I think my first thing that I'd say is the jump from high school to university is like so drastic. It's crazy. Like, I feel like the biggest change would be just how independent you have to be and how everything is like on your own timing and on your own schedule. Like for first year, at least for nursing students, or this is for everyone, for first year you have to build your own schedule. I'm not sure about other majors, but after first year we get our schedules made for us, thank God. But it's literally so stressful because if you don't get into a mandatory class, you have to like prolong your first year, and you won't be able to make it into second year yet, so you'll be graduating way later. And most of the classes that you do have to take for nursing, like you have to take quite a lot of electives. Like I had to take a geology class, I had to take an arts class, an open option. And this is how the university makes their money, honestly, because that class I don't know really how much use it's gonna be to me like when I'm actually practicing as a nurse. But it was fun to take those classes, but it's just like the stress of knowing if I don't get into those classes, I'll have to prolong my like education. Was so stressful. And not to mention, those seats fill up really quickly. I was on the wait list for my geology and my philosophy class, but luckily I got into those. But it gets really stressful because even if you're like to the minute, like where they open the student portal to make your schedule, you might still not get in. You might have to be on the wait list. Another big change that I'd say is your friendships are a lot more selective, and it's not hard to make friends, but it's kind of hard to like maintain those friendships, especially in university, just because again everyone's on their own time. Like they get to choose when they're going into class. Like I know at my high school, if you weren't where you needed to be, they literally call you out on the intercom sometimes if you did it a lot. Never happened to me, but like it was always that fear of like, no, I don't want to like skip class because of this. Or like you could skip class like once in a blue moon, but it was nothing anyone was doing like super often. But like in university, there's classes people won't even go to, and I'm guilty of that too, because you have to like divvy up your time. Divvy, is that a word? What I mean to say, you have to divide your time wisely so you can get all the work you need to get done. So if I have a nursing test or like a statistics test, I'm probably not going to go to my Greek and Roman studies class. I'm probably going to use that time to study. Another thing I'd like to mention, and this is for all my girlies in high school, is when you get into university, there's so many opportunities to make friends. So if you're in high school and you're like, oh, like I don't really feel connections to anybody in high school, or you're just like, I don't know, because I always grew up being like a wise soul. Like I've never really been into like the party, the nightlife and stuff like that. I feel like I'm pretty like responsible and mature, and it was hard in high school because I just felt like, why aren't I making these genuine connections with people? And it's just because we have different lifestyles that we choose to live, right? And I'm telling you, like once you get into university, you'll find people and you'll be like, whoa, so I'm not the only person who's like this. Because honestly, like when I went to university and then I saw people actually like also being tryhards too. I was like, whoa. Like, of course I've met like tryhards like in high school because I was one of them too, but like it was just crazy because it was like there's so many of them, like we're all the same, like, and it's like even like the fundamental values that we hold, like at the end of the day, in their basis, they're kind of like fairly the same. Okay, now let's get into the meat and potatoes of this. So how do you take notes, how to study, all that jazz. So what you want to do in high school, if you're in high school, if you're in high school, you want to start experimenting with different ways to study so you can know which ways work best for you. And that's one thing I was guilty of. I never really like took the time to figure out how I study. I just kind of like would do a different thing for each test, and it worked fine. It still works fine, but it's like it causes you a lot more stress in university just because I feel like it's better to have like a go-to method of studying. So whether that be flashcards, taking notes, talking through it with a friend, find a way that works best for you. I know at the beginning of the semester, or even it could be a combination of all three, honestly, but I remember at the beginning of the semester, I used to study on call with my friends a lot. And that was like a really good way for me to study. And it's also like another thing I love to do, which a lot of people actually would like find weird, but I love like studying with someone in person, but like we just don't talk at all. Like we're just like, we have our headphones on, we're doing our own thing. Cause I feel like for me at least, like the courses I'm taking, so I'm taking anatomy and physiology. That course, it's like, it's not like math where you can explain it to each other and it makes sense, right? It's not like something where it's like I tell you this once and you're gonna remember it forever. Like it's memorization, and honestly, like majority of that happens on your own. It's nice to have a friend around just to keep you accountable. Like both of you guys can like be like, okay, we're gonna lock in for this amount of time and do that. But if you're already good at keeping yourself accountable, you could probably skip that because adding that friend in might be a distraction, because that's the other thing I was going to talk about. So it's all about just knowing yourself and knowing what works best for you. One thing I know a lot of students face is imposter syndrome, and I honestly thought I was the only one, but that's why I found orientation super like meaningful and special to me, because of the conversations we had and what we were taught. I remember feeling like, oh, I'm not meant to be here right now. Like looking at all these people around you, it's like, oh my god, everyone's so smart, like I'm not meant to be here. But you got into the program, so obviously you are, right? Like they see something in you you don't even see in yourself yet, and that's like such a special thing. So yes, I just know everyone feels like it. Like don't feel like you're the only one who's feeling out of place. Okay, this is something I'm guilty of, but try and limit how much you share to people.
Oh fuck no! Fuck no!
Just cause you never know, like you're meeting these people for the first time, you didn't really get to know their character yet, and I'm very guilty of this, but like if I meet someone, I just start flowing. I'm talking about like my childhood, everything. But it's like, just think, like, do they really need to know this? And also when you're sharing information with people, just think, is this something I'm okay with everyone knowing who's also in my major, who's also in university, my whole friend group knowing? Is this something I'm okay with? Because trust me, they will tell. They will tell. And honestly, I feel like so would you. Like, just assume the worst, and that will like keep you safe. And obviously this doesn't work for all cases. Like if you're close with someone you've been friends with like a long time, then go ahead and tell them anything. But at least in my experience and a lot of my friends' experiences in nursing school, or like in university in general, is like it's very easy to introduce yourself, to make a new friend, but maintaining that friendship is pretty hard, and oftentimes it can feel very one-sided, where you're always the person who's reaching out. and everything. And those friendships usually end off like fizzling off. But do you really want someone knowing everything about you at that point? So just keep it to a minimum. Okay, now this is my last tip and the most important tip of all. So, know how privileged you are, how absolutely privileged you are to be able to study and learn post-secondary, and know how many people are like working their butts off to get into the position that you're in. And if you know that, then when you go to class, going to class won't feel like a chore. It'll feel like a privilege. I'm getting to go learn about anatomy, physiology. I'm getting to go learn about stats. I'm getting to do these assignments. I'm getting to better myself. I'm getting to secure my future. And if you know that, again, it'll just help you flourish. It'll make sure that you're not procrastinating. And obviously we're human, so these things do happen. Like, I have moments where I'm procrastinating and other moments where I'm like locking in, because again, that's only human, right? But just know, like, it's a bunch of people who are trying to get into your position. So with all that information, those are all my tips for first year. So don't say I didn't warn you, but best of luck. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.